I'm gonna go over using a tall target test, and I just kind of want to show you this and break it down and simplify it for you guys. So first and foremost, let's talk about equipment. The Bosch laser measuring device. This is the model GLM 400C. It actually has a laser, so you can see right here, but it also has a camera, so you can zoom in on the target. I have this one set to measure from the back of the device down to the target. The tall targets are ones I designed. They're already broken down into decimals, so you don't have to do any math. Let me turn this off so I don't waste the battery. Don't use a rangefinder. You can be a full yard, 2 yards off. This is a jig I designed, and I gave it the design to one of my students, and he's now producing these for you. They come with a hard case, leveling legs, pick rail, levels, and his business is AccurateIndustriesLLC.com. I make no money from this. I did this for my students. It comes in a hard case, so you can buy the jig from him. These you can get from Amazon. So let me kind of just throw these out there. All right, next thing. These tall target tests, I also gave him permission to start printing these up. So I think he's gonna give these with the jig. All right, so let's kind of walk you through this. So what we did is we lasered with the Bosch device the distance we're doing. Now you can do these at 20 yards, 50 yards, 100 yards. One thing to think about is when you're actually doing a tall target test, run your turret as many minutes or mils as you plan on using, because that's the area that's gonna wear the most. So if you recheck it in 6 months, at least you know you're getting the area that's affected. All right, so mounted on the jig, you can see this in this video, and then downrange at 21 something yards, we've got the target set up, and hang the target with the level. So here's how this works. So run the turret up and down 3 to 4 times, make sure it stops and starts at the same time. Write down the amount of movement, in this case it's 6.750 inches. All right, and then I'm sitting in my classroom. We're actually getting ready for class in about 45 minutes. So I'm gonna go into my phone, and on my phone I've got a couple apps I like to use. The first one's called Fractions, because I hate doing math. Fractions to decimals, so we know it was 773 inches and 15/16. Like I said, I hate doing math. And you can see I left a 1 out in front of the 15, hit done, hit calculate. It gives me an actual measurement of 773 inches, 0.9375. So I got that wrote down, close this out. Now I'm gonna open the Unit Plus app, go to length, and you can see I've already got it typed in. And this does all kinds of stuff, currency, distance, length, weights, whatever. So I typed in already 773.9375 inches. It automatically converted it to 21.4982638 yards. Let me close that out. I'll go to settings. I'm using a 300 PRC. So we've already got the gun kind of sort of built. We just don't have a correction factor. In the rifle and scope block under advanced mode, push on the little crosshair, and then it's gonna say, how far did you do the test? 21.4982638 Now, it's gonna round up in here and show you 21.5 yards. Trust me, it's doing down to the 10th decimal. Now it's gonna say how many minutes or mils did you do the test? Well, we did 30 minutes. Well, this already tells you what the expected point of change or impact is, 6.75 inches. Let's put in the actual. Well, guess what it was? 6.750 inches. Hit set, and it says in that case, for your actual point of impact at 30 minutes at 21.5 yards, that your actual correction factor or your scope tracking is 1.00056. Hit set, you are now done. That is phenomenal. I've been testing scopes for years and years. Mostly we used to do it shooting, but ever since we got the jig, life's been easier, and it takes out human error for the most part. But very seldom do I see a scope that tracks 1.000 anything. You see that a lot on, not a lot, but on Zero Compromise, they're pretty good. But even my Night Forces and the Trax and the other ones, they track 0.99, 0.98. And usually if you're 0.98 or higher, everything's golden. You're not going to have an issue as long as it stays. Now, why does this matter? You know, everybody watches me do these videos. Let's just say we're going to shoot 1,500 yards with the 300 PRC. With a scope that tracks 100%, which I've never seen in my life, all right, in 40 years. I've seen them very close, just like this one, very close. It says that our actual minutes or dial-ups are 54.21 minutes to get to 1,500 yards. I'm leaving the wind at 0, no aerodynamic jump involved. I'm going to screenshot this. Now let's go back and let's say the scope tracks 97%. Well, that's a little harsh. 0.9820. So 98%. Now let's go back to the HUD and you'll notice that we're at 53.20. 53.20. Let me screenshot that. All right. So now if I go to my photographs and I pull these up, so literally we're almost a full minute of air at 1,500 yards from our scope correction being incorrect. So remember what I tell folks before, you can true this out. A lot of guys, well, I can true my velocities or true BCs. I don't really see anybody truing velocities anymore. If you true your BC and true it out, the problem is you put a fake BC in there. And you don't want to do that. So my point is, do this first before you ever even start your data. Find out at what percentage your scope tracks, plug it into solvers, let the solvers take care of the rest. And then bottom line, you're not going to be a minute off at 1,500 yards just from your scope being tracking error. And I'm going to show you this real quick. Let me pull up and start recording again. Well, let's just say it's only 1,000 yards. So, okay, here's 1,000 yards. And this scope tracks 0.9820. It doesn't, but we're at 25.51. I'm going to go ahead and screenshot that. And then let's make the scope again track 100% or 1.00056. And now we're at 26 minutes. Let me screenshot that. So as you can see that even at 1,000 yards, okay, you're looking at a half a minute of error just on your mechanical dial-ups. So my philosophy in long-range hunting world is eliminate all mechanical problems, so the only problem behind a gun is you, right? And that's going to be mostly wind and rifle cam. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. This is a step-by-step how I do it, using the right tools, making sure you've got everything set up properly. We got to know our correction factors before we get started, guys. If we don't, then we're going to have error in all of our dial-ups, no matter what we do, how far we go out. Okay, you can true your heart's content, but there's still going to be error. Even if you true it at 1,500 yards and you're matching, and then you come to 300 yards, you're a quarter or half a minute off just from mechanical error. All right, hopefully this makes sense. This is how I do it, and enjoy. We'll talk to you later.